Well, today memorial services start for President George H.W. Bush, who died on Friday at the age 94. Now, as ABC's Natalie Brunell reports right now, Air Force One is set to take his casket from Houston to Washington, D.C. this morning as the nation mourns and remembers a life of service that stretched far beyond his time in the White House.
Air Force One standing ready to carry President Bush's casket on his final trip to the country's capital. His close friend and former Secretary of State Jim Baker revealing his gentle final moments.
He opened his eyes, he looked at me, he says, "Hey, Bake," he said, "where are we going?"
Baker replying, "We're going to heaven." Mr. Bush responding, "That's where I want to go." His family also by his side in those peaceful hours.
Almost every grandkid, and there are 17 grandkids, had a chance to either in person or by phone weigh in and express their love for this great man.
Among those on the phone, his son, former President George W. Bush, who received George Sr.'s final words, "I love you too." President Bush will now lie in state in the nation's capital before being honored with two funerals, one at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., and a final service back in his home church in Houston on Thursday.
He would treat everybody in Houston the same, with the same amount of respect. He loved Houston.
His family finding peace knowing President Bush was so certain of where he was headed next and the beloved wife he would finally rejoin.
I do think that you go to heaven, there is a heaven, and I don't fear it, though. When I was a little guy, I'd fear death. I'd worried about it, be scared. Not anymore.
A custom train painted to look like Air Force One will take President Bush from Houston to College Station, where he will be buried next to his beloved wife, Barbara, and their late daughter, Robin. Natalie Brunell, ABC News, Houston, Texas.
Well, several events to honor the 41st president will be held this week, starting around 10:25 this morning. So stay with News Channel 9 and ABC for the latest coverage.